Shalom. All praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem Haoshai, Bahashem HaKadosh. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of GMS, to the true leaders of Israel today, and salutations to all of the Akim who do this work in truth and sincerity, who are risking their lives and their freedoms to do so, as well as the scattered Israelites who come looking at the heathen but are not, by way of their forefathers' seeds, who are Israelite men. The true name of the Most High is Yahweh, and his son's name is Yahushai. And the Lord's holy chosen people are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, as well as the ones who suffer under the curses in the book of Deuteronomy. My name is Akalio, and in the news, okay, so here it is in the news. There has been a power cut in Spain and Portugal, and the latest update is that Spain declares state of emergency as Portugal struggles with power cut, transport chaos. Now, I learned about this morning because when I woke up this morning, they're playing tennis in Madrid, Spain, the Madrid Open. So, given the time zone at, like 6 a.m., 7 a.m. before that, they would have already completed a few matches and matches would be going on. So, I woke up before the plantation and I decided to check on the results of the tennis, and I saw that the matches were suspended. I'm like wondering, why is it suspended? And only to find out that it's suspended because Spain and Portugal have been hit with a nationwide blackout, right? No electricity. Okay. So, one thing that I'm noticing that they were saying earlier at that time, when I checked it, like 12 hours ago at this point, they were saying that the cause of it, what they were reporting at first, is that the cause of it is or was from, as they declared it, like they called it something like a weather temperature phenomenon, right? And I was like, hold on a second, because reading that made me think about the whole climate change and all of these things, which climate change is a narrative that the wicked elite of Esau Edom have been pushing since I can remember, since Al Gore, back in the 2000s, right, when he was up against Bush, I believe it was. He was pushing the whole climate change thing, and they've been talking about climate change this, climate change that, and whatever else. And this whole climate change thing that they've been talking about, there's something to it. As time goes on, all things will be revealed by way of Yahweh Shai. But this whole climate change thing, they have a certain angle that they're working with. I'm not sure what it is, but there's something to it, man. Okay, because I've heard about like the carbon footprint and all of these kinds of things for like what is to come in the future, which is the mark of the beast system, and the mark of the beast is that microchip, and the things that are going to be playing into it. So when I read earlier that they were saying that it was a weather temperature phenomena, I'm like, what is this? I've never even heard of this before. All right. But, we're dealing with the devil, right? This is the devil, the so-called white man, the rulers of this wicked kingdom, and, they're all about deception and lies. And so when it is that things like this happen, right? For those of us that are in the know, which are those of us who have the eye salve from Yahweh Shai, automatically, we're thinking of, oh, what is it that Esau Edom is doing here? You get what I'm saying? What are they doing? Because we look beyond what is said and what is on display, because as the scriptures say, we are not ignorant of Satan's devices. And as time has shown, there's always something behind whatever it is that's going on in these major situations, right? And it's all about order out of chaos, order ab chaos. For the wicked elite of Esau Edom, they want to bring about chaotic situations to then offer a solution to those chaotic situations. And based off of the scriptures, we know the prophecies that are coming, the mark of the beast prophecy, which is the microchip, the famine, the pestilence, the judgment, Jacob's trouble, all of these things. And the scriptures let us know in Revelation chapter 6. And verse 4, it says, "And there went out another horse that was red," talking about Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. "And power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword," which the great sword is the blessing that Esau received from our forefather Isaac. They received, that one day they would have the fatness of the earth, the dew of heaven, and that they would rule by the sword, which means that one day they would have rulership and that they would go about conquering by the sword. So that's exactly what they did. Okay. In verse 8, "And I looked, and behold, a pale horse," talking about Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, "and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him, and power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth," which is talking about a miracle, "to kill with sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth." So based on the scriptures, we know that they're going to be making their moves. Now, when it is that like a mass power outage of sorts happens like this, especially in Europe, all spiritual eyes are on it, because Esau has this thing called the method of revelation, or it could be the revelation of method, or something like that, where they display the actions that they're going to be making in their movies, in their media, television shows, all of those things. They will show you, and their television shows movies that have shown up chaotic events of mass blackouts, loss of electricity, which means that there's a loss of communication, right? The phones and everything goes down. They've shown stuff like that. They've shown moments of like mass outbreak of disease and stuff like that, and what will happen then. And they've shown moments of even like Jacob's trouble and what it talks about in 2nd Ezra chapter 15, right? And 2nd Ezra chapter 16, right? Where, times become very chaotic, and all of that is, transpiring in the movies, and they show that, and martial law is declared and everything, which, the scriptures declare these things first. So because of prophecy, we know these things are coming. So Yahweh Shemishah has set us up as watchmen to watch. So everything is going to be reported on. So it says, "Spain has declared a state of emergency after a massive cut hit large parts of the country, and Portugal, causing widespread disruption. More than half of Spain's power has been restored," Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez says, "but authorities have not yet established why the outage occurred." Now, as I mentioned before earlier, right, when I woke up this morning and I checked the Madrid Open, the tennis, and then I saw what their reasoning was. They were saying that it was some kind of temperature phenomenon. All right. I wonder if I can see if there are any articles of it still. Let me check. All right, I found something from Newsweek 2 hours ago. "Spain and Portugal power outages. Energy firm blames rare weather phenomenon." Now, I don't even know what that is, right? I Googled it earlier. I really didn't get any kind of, reason as to what that is. It appears to be maybe something that they're just going to pull out of thin air. You know what I'm saying? Because we're dealing with the devil, man. And what the scriptures say, to never trust thine enemy. And they are the number one enemy to Yahweh Shemishai and to the Israelites, all right? The Edomites. Okay, so whatever they put out there, I don't trust it. But everything is to be reported and to be filtered through the scriptures. And, knowing the time that we're in, any little thing that happens, you should take notice of it. Especially things that are uncommon, like this situation right here. All right. But, it is all about order out of chaos for them. Okay. There's no indication that the power cut was caused by a cyber attack. Now that's another thing that we've been hearing about. And I guess that's why they've mentioned it, because they've been talking about putting it out there that there could be some kind of cyber attack. The devil has put out these things out there, that these things could potentially happen. And then you have certain individuals like, they call them preppers and survivalists or whatever else. They have been reporting on such things that are, to come, like, all kinds of things, if you keep up with those channels. But the situation at hand is this: the devil is going to be coming with great wrath. Okay. In Revelation chapter 12 and verse 12, it says, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time." So this devil knows he has a short time. So whatever it is that happened there, whether it be accidental or intentional or whatever it is what it is. But regarding the movements of the wicked elite of Esau Edom, who are these elite bankers, right? They're going to be making their move. And the way things are looking, when you look at what's going on in the world, everything is just building up. The pestilences are building up, the famine is building up, Jacob's trouble is building up. All right, the inflation, the collapse of the current monetary system is building up. They're putting in all of the system needed to be able to facilitate the usage of the microchip. You see what I'm saying? World War III, that's building up day by day. So we're very close, man. Right, we're very close to Esau's kingdom coming to an end. And as it says, that he had but a short time, because this was always just a temporary rulership for the Edomites. It was never permanent, But these are just the times that we're in. Let me see if there's anything else to report on this. It's been several hours since the first reports emerged of power cuts in Spain. And remember, these are first world countries. Edomite dominated first world countries. Okay, this isn't your third world country, as they would say, and where we just lose power whenever. You know what I'm saying? These are first world countries, causing widespread disruption and travel chaos. You see, it causes chaos. Power outages causes chaos, right? They know that it's one of the ways that they can bring about chaos to the world, because the entire world is dependent on technology, and the way that it's used, it has to have the electricity, So yeah, man, I'm sure it's very chaotic over there in Spain and Portugal. I don't even know what time it is right now. It's probably what? Maybe past 12 a.m. or something. But yeah, man, these are just the updates that they've been talking about, and then RT reported on it, the state of emergency, right? So this is just one of their methods, and they'll be using other methods, man. All kinds of different kinds of methods. They're not just going to be hitting the world with just one calamity or one chaotic event. They're going to be hitting the world with several chaotic events, and you can see that it's all brewing up day by day. All right, so given the times that we're in, time is very short, man. Repent and return to our power, Yahweh Shemeshai, and hope for salvation. Because the judgments that are coming from the Lord they're not pleasant at all. It's called Jacob's trouble, a time like never before. And it is out of Jacob's trouble that the elect of the nation of Israel will be saved. Okay. So that's all praises, glory, and honor. Oh, hold on. Look at this. Spain declares state of emergency after nationwide blackout. The declaration allows for deploying the military to maintain public order. You see how easy it can be where martial law can be declared, or a state of emergency can be declared, or how easy it is for them to just mobilize the military whenever they want to. It just goes to show you, man. Anything can really happen at any day right now. So remain spiritual as best as you can. Stay in the spirit. And that's just what it is. Once again, all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shemeshai by Shemekah Kodesh. Shalom.